What's up, dudes? Just wanted to. It's been a while. What's up, KJ Vibes? Welcome to the stream. Not really doing anything. It's just been a while since I've been live. Figured I would go live for a bit and see what's happening, man. See if anybody wanted to chat about anything in particular. I'm just hanging out, man. I got about 20 minutes to kill before, maybe a little bit more, before going to bed, man. So what's happening? Put this up on the old Twitter in case anybody wants to come hang out. Not much. Do you still cube? I do still cube. It's been a little bit it's been a little bit, but I can still cube. I still solve some stuff. I try to solve every now and then when I'm just sitting around, but yeah, I sure do, man. I sure do. What about you, man? Have you purchased anything new? My big goal, honestly, is to try to. I need to. I still get comments on my Rubik's Cube video that I did. Man, I guess God, close to 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, anyway. And I always get people making fun of me about the pyramids, but I never could figure it out. Yeah, long time no see. What's up, Super Pin Jacob? You could see me every day, man. You don't have to only watch the live streams. Thanks for being a local vlogger. Good to see someone that local. Yeah, I don't know about YouTube famous, but I'm just trying to show that there's some good stuff in the area. I can solve a Pyraminx in 6 seconds. I can solve a Pyraminx in 6 seconds if I just twist it once and then twist it back. I just struggle with it, man. Like, I can't wrap my head around the idea of. Sorry, I'm looking at. I know it doesn't look like I'm talking to you, but I'm trying to look at the comments too. But I really, really struggle with just the way that it moves, man. Just I don't know why. It really, really, really bothers me for some reason. Like I just can't get. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Sketch Tech and Bruno, you look super familiar. I don't know if that's you or not, but the picture in your on your YouTube channel looks familiar. I hope it's not somebody. I hope you're not somebody I'm supposed to know, and I just don't realize it. It could just be slipping my mind. You mainly do Pyraminxes. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I can't do. I can't do the Pyraminxes, man. I struggle with it. Is anybody else doing anything cool on a sweet? What is it? Monday night? I don't even know what night it is. Just drinking some milk, man. Drinking some milk. I need to get back into doing these live streams, man. Just here and there, not anything. At first, I kept dropping it, and I couldn't figure out how it worked, and then I just tried bringing it everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I've looked at tutorials and stuff online, but I don't know. Like my head can't. Used to always have it with me. Yeah, I used to. I go through spells depending on what which I haven't in a while, but I go through spells where I'll carry the 3x3, and then a lot of times what I mainly carry, if I'm carrying anything at random just to carry, is the 5x5. I love the 5x5. Did you used to work at GameStop or EchoStar? I did used to work at GameStop, yeah. But I do. Funny story is, I constantly get asked if I used to work at EchoStar. Apparently, there used to be somebody that worked at EchoStar that looked just like me, or I looked just like them, whatever you want to say. But I did not work at EchoStar. I did work at GameStop though. I haven't ever tried to solve a 5x5. 5x5 is not super hard. Basically, you solve the inner layers kind of like you solve a 4x4, but you have to solve it twice. Could have been your twin. Yeah, that's crazy. I still don't even know who it is. But yeah, I get told that a lot. Um, and then basically once you solve the inner three layers, it's just a you solve it just like you would a three by three. Yeah, that's hilarious. Somebody at Echo Star. And then, oh, and I love the mirror cube too. Pretty much the main thing I do now is guitar. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Main thing I do is I just, between trying to learn some language, like literally my day consists of I get up and go to work, and then I come home. Obviously, I film videos and stuff like that, take care of my kid and stuff like that. And then any other spare time I use to learn languages. I'm pretty solid at Esperanto, and I actually just started. I can kind of speak Spanish, but not really well, and it's very limited. So today I restarted, kind of going through some just different things Spanish wise to refresh myself, and then I'm gonna try to continue on. I restarted the Duolingo tree, and I got about a fourth of the way through. So what's up, Merpa Derp? Welcome. Um, but that's my goal this year. I talked about it in my vlog a couple times. Like learning Esperanto was the yeah, it's been a super long time. Learning Esperanto was the best thing for me because it taught me that I can learn a language, and basically I'm branching off of that, and I know that if I study Spanish as much as I've studied Esperanto, then I will be perfectly fine. So that's my goal anyway. More solid of a weekly time. Yeah, that's a good idea. Sketch Tech. I want to. That's kind of the thing. Like, I want to get like a decent schedule. I mentioned doing. Well, I think you'd even commented on the video where I talked about Monday uploads and Thursday uploads. Like Monday being like social media and like weird stuff, or like memes or something like that. Thursday would be Thought Thursday. Honestly, if I could do Fridays as like a food. It's funny you say that because tomorrow's video is a food review, but maybe I might start making like Fridays food reviews or something like that. Maybe or Saturdays or something. And then basically what I talked about in the video and you saw, but have those set days, and if there's something cool going on, then I'll vlog it. But if not, I've got like a set schedule of stuff that people would possibly want to see. So. In my high school, I'm learning Spanish, and I have a really good teacher, so I've learned a lot. Well, that's super good, man. I studied Spanish in high school, and my God, I think my final grade for the semester was a 24. But I also didn't have a lot of like my. It's funny how you go through different spells. Like I never had a lot of interest in language learning until after high school. Um, Honestly, it was about 2009 is when I really got intrigued with the idea of learning a language. And so, I've dabbled around with a bunch of different things, but I wish that I would have gotten to it earlier, but I did not. But that's my own fault. That's cool though that you've learned a lot. I definitely I just want to practice as much as I can. Your thoughts on the football games recently? Um, well, I was upset Carolina lost, obviously. I thought I thought Jacksonville had a shot at beating Pittsburgh. I didn't necessarily think they would win, but I thought they had a fair shot. And then when I figured the Patriots would kill Tennessee as well, but I'm happy. I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. Uh, I'm not the area that I'm from. Like you've got like it's like Pittsburgh is God, and it's just growing up my whole life around that. It's just kind of like just kind of wears thin on you. I don't dislike Pittsburgh fans or anything. I just don't pull for Pittsburgh is kind of it. And seeing them bounce out, especially after their halfback after Le'Veon Bell was like, I'm not even preparing for the Jags because we're gonna kill them. I'm preparing for a rematch with the Patriots. I just feel it's a little bit of sweet irony. So, and then New Orleans and Minnesota was wild, obviously, and I'm really happy. Um, that they are. I don't know. I'm happy for the city of Minnesota, and I think it's cool I think it's cool for the Eagles, man. I don't know. People crap on Nick Foles, but I think he's a perfectly fine quarterback. He's obviously not Carson Wentz, but Nick Foles is probably the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Awesome. Yeah. It's crazy how Spanish makes a lot more sense compared to English. Yeah, you'll notice that about almost any language that you go like English. There's so much inconsistencies, and not that every language doesn't have. What's up, language learning lounge? And the other guy, yo, what's up? I'm new. Hey, what's up? Um, if you study any other language, you'll realize like English is so full of inconsistencies and rules that say, well, this is this way, except. And when you learn English is basically Creole, and when you learn any other language, it does, man. It feels like, man, there's a lot less inconsistencies. Like even though there are irregularities, they still make sense. But in English, they don't. English in like Man, I tell you, like I honestly, it's huge to me that low key, you're the best YouTuber. Thanks. What's up, Kendatis? I did not expect. I mean, 8 people watching is crazy to me, but um, what was I even talking about? Inconsistencies. Um, English is just crazy, man. I think about it all the time. I'm like, man, I'm so fortunate that English is my first language because I could not even imagine trying to learn uh, just the different crap that we say. Think about it, man. Like, there's so much that we say. What's up, Cornhusk? There's so much that we say in English that is slang. Like we speak in so much slang. It's a Germanic language that's heavily influenced by Roman. French had control over England for 300 years. It makes sense. Yeah, well, yeah, because English is not a. It's not. I think that's a thing. Like people, there's a lot of people that think English is a Romance language, and you're right. It is Germanic. It's or like they feel like it's closer to, but it's not. Really and truly, in my opinion, English is closer to actual German than it is to Spanish or French or anything. With obviously influences of. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. You should bring back live streaming a little bit. I know, man. Honestly, even if I just do stuff like this, I do want to do it. If I have a little bit of time, just in the evening, like I do right now before I'm going to bed, I do plan on doing this a couple times, at least once a week. Just this little sit and chat with you guys, man. I miss doing this. Like this is doing not like I'm not doing anything. I'm not streaming or anything. Braun or KD? I think they're both good, man. If I in their prime, who if you're asking who I would like build a team around, I don't know, man. It depends on what I would be going for. I think they're both super super talented. LeBron, I don't think LeBron is the best basketball player that's ever played like a lot of people do, but I will say that LeBron James is the most athletic person that's ever stepped on a basketball court. That's my opinion on the matter. I think he's a fantastic player. I like these streams. That's good. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I can get into some stuff. Some places estimate up to 50% of our vocabulary is from French, especially our fancier, more academic words. That's why grammar is much more Germanic and our grammatical words are. That makes sense. Yeah, I know that there is a lot of French influence, and I know that. What am I trying to say here? I know that there's a lot of Spanish influence too, or maybe vice versa. But I know that we have like, nice. I'm gonna catch you later. Good stream. Congrats on 1.3K. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Definitely. Yeah, man. I'm gonna try to do these more often, so you can come and check those out. But just turn the notifications on because it may be random. I don't know. But what am I talking about? Spanish. Yeah, so be back for the next stream. Cool, cool. Yeah, I think with the like ciudad, right? It's not city, it's ciudad. Like you add the dad on the end, and it makes it like the ty words and stuff. Um, and the what is it? Sion, it's Cion instead of Tion. I have a French degree and almost a master's in basic linguistics, so that is what I learn all the time. That's cool. I want to get like the thing is the colleges around here like I mean they're not bad. I mean they're colleges, but I want to learn like I would love to go to school for and I've wanted to for a long time. It's funny, even though Spanish isn't the first language that I've learned, so to speak. I've always wanted to study Spanish because if you get a master's or any kind of degree in Spanish, I mean, you can totally use that for, I mean, jobs and stuff. I mean, Spanish is the second most natively spoken language in the world, right? I think I'm right about that. Probably don't quote me on that, but because I think it is, man. I think there's even more than I think there's more Spanish speakers than Arabic speakers. I guess because of the dialects. I think that's right. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Spanish. Hold on. I don't know what in the world I'm doing. I have the power of the internet right here. Most speakers natively. Mandarin is 955 million, and Spanish is spoken natively 405 million. And English is third, probably like 300 million. How many is it actually? 360 million. I think the reason a lot of people think Arabic, myself included, is because we always group in like Hindi and Urdu and stuff like that. Arabic has 295 million. Hindi and Urdu have 310. Although I don't know why Hindi and Urdu are put together. I guess they're similar. I don't know. Oh, I would like to get more into like I love watching Paul Lang Focus because I love learning. Like that's the thing. Like my infatuation with languages is more than just I want to learn to speak. Like man, I love the history of them. I love it's cool to me to see how people like just over the course of time have learned to communicate with each other. It's really really fascinating to me. Very similar. I think some people say they're basically the same, but only separated by politics. That could be right. The thing I'm reading right here says that linguists consider them different registers of a common language. So yeah, I assume they're dialects of kind of how you have like standard Arabic, and then you'll have like Egyptian Arabic and all that stuff. I think they're similar. It says they have different written forms, but share the same history and have many common works and grammar. So it's very very interesting though. Yeah. Whoa, I did not know. It says the language Arabic has also influenced many other common languages such as Spanish. It says Spanish has over 4,000 words with Arabic roots. It's cool, man. I love reading into stuff like this. Urdu uses Arabic script. Arabic is your favorite writing system ever? Because I studied some Arabic, like, because I love, even if I wasn't studying a language, I would go through and read and try to memorize their alphabet. And I remember studying Arabic's alphabet, and it totally makes sense. Like, it looks like it would be hard, but once you actually sit down and realize, well, this, this with the dot is this, it's hard to explain, but it totally makes sense, and I like it. I think one of my favorite writing system is Bengali, man. I think Bengali is awesome. I love those script fonts, man. I love any of those script languages. They're really, really cool. This is actually technically my second live stream of the night because Language Learning Lounge, I totally stole your idea and I started my Spanish Duolingo on my language learning channel. In the Middle Ages, there was a huge spread of Islam that went through North Africa and up into Spain and Portugal. So that's probably why there's the influence then, yeah. Makes sense. I'm sad I missed it. Well, it was on my I have a secondary channel where I do like it's weird like I talk about languages on this channel and stuff, but then like there's other stuff where it's very very specific that I don't put on this channel. So I put it on my specific language learning channel. But yeah, I did, and it was a refresher course. I did the first. I did it for an hour, but I did down to like clothing or something like that. But it's more of like I knew it would be easy to kind of use as a test because I'm not good at Spanish, but I, I needed a refresher. Is basically what it comes down to. Yeah, I will. I'll send you a link. I will send you a link to that. Actually, let's see here. There you go. There it is. Um, But my goal is I'm gonna do from where I am semi proficient. That's such a terrible word. From where I have a base understanding of Spanish, basically I'm doing like a challenge from today, 90 days. Finish the Duolingo tree within 90 days. I'll obviously use other sources as well. I'll use you know, different flashcards and stuff to add additional vocabulary. Because I do love Duolingo, but I do think the vocabulary can lack sometimes. Like, there's only so many times that you can say, you know, mis gatos beben las manzanas, right? There's only so many times or so many different ways that you can tell somebody that your cats are eating apples. So I'm gonna use probably memorize for some supplement income, and I do want to look into some other stuff as well. I really want to check out Fluencia, which is like Spanish dict. It's not software, but you know whatever. And then probably look into a couple of other things about some of that stuff. So it should be fun. Definitely, I love using Anki. Yeah, I like Anki too. The only thing that sucks is I study a lot more mobily versus desktop, and Anki on the you just said you were drinking. Oh, I did say I was drinking the apples. Good call. Yeah, I did say that. Let me rephrase that. Los mis gatos comen las manzanas. Good catch, man. Super good catch. I didn't even realize it. It's got a nice space for repetition. Yeah, but Anki, I don't like that Anki charges on the phone. It's like $20 on the phone. But but I actually do prefer Anki to memorize simply because you can look at a word singularly or you can look at it in use contextually through a sentence. And to me, that's huge. But again, man, it's just I think it's free. It might be free on Android, but I have an iPhone. Yeah, I'm on Apple. Yeah, it's $20 on Apple. Or it used to be. I don't know. It might have dropped, but I know it charges on Apple, which sucks. I do have a tablet, which is Android, so I could probably do it on there. Yeah, I actually I got used to. It's not that I prefer like I'm not like a fanboy so to speak of any of these phones or anything, but like I just got used to the iPhone first, and that's just what I've stuck with. I've tried to go because like the Galaxies have a way better camera than the iPhones. They're a lot more stable. Which I have an iPhone 7 Plus, and the camera quality is way better than I had on my 6. But especially the front-facing camera, because the front-facing camera is actually 1080 this time. But man, I'd love to get it like a Galaxy or something. But I just can't get used to the interface. $25. Good lord, yeah. I knew it was expensive. Yeah, it's like I said. I do think it's better than Memrise, but not when you weigh out the cost. Like Memrise at 20. And honestly, I'm sure there are courses on Memrise if you search far enough. There probably are courses that are probably done in that manner. The only problem is a lot of time you don't get the actual spoken, the spoken sounds, the sounds of it, which is partially how I learn. I think listening is one of the most overlooked aspects of language learning. Period, man. And I never thought that I'd be able to do it, but it's funny being near the end of the tree in Esperanto and hearing blah 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 blah, and just I mean, I might have to think about it a little bit, but I can understand that it's not something that runs on and I can't decipher where a word stops and where a word ends. So that's my plan with Spanish too, is to, like when I go to Mexican restaurants and stuff, get get some practice in there. Because I'm sure if I was like, hey, I'm learning, I'm super new, I just want to test some stuff out, I'm sure they'd be more than happy to talk or whatever. So if I can find one of there's two Mexican restaurants around here, and there's not a whole lot of Latin America, like Spanish speakers there. It's an audio dictionary, and you can often find sound files to download if you had to your own Anki or memorize cards. Yeah, that's true. I need to try to do that. I know you can upload stuff, yeah, on Memrise for specific sounds. Honestly, it would just be easier if Anki was just not $25, because I do think it is a better flashcard system. But again, hey man, if it's free, I can't. I try not to complain about it too much. Because in Memorize's defense, I do think Memorize is a fantastic, but restaurants are a great way to practice. I've done it before many times. You're from Chicago, right? You probably have more people that live in your like apartment building if you live in an apartment than I do like in my entire town. Like my entire town is like 5,000 people. I'm not from here, but I live here. Yeah, I thought you said you were from Indiana in one of your videos. Definitely, listening is the way to go. I've been studying Japanese and I can understand about 70% of spoken language, but I can't speak much. That's crazy, yeah. 70%, man, of Japanese. That's tough. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Do you practice speaking a lot? That's the other thing I struggle with is like, I don't want to. And people go back and forth on whether or not they believe this is a real thing or not. I personally do. Derek, you're awesome. What's up? Thank you. I wonder if that's Derek that I went to school with. But what am I talking? Man, my brain is freezing. Oh, people go back and forth on whether or not they think language learning that you can become passively understanding, where you can understand what's spoken but not speak it. I personally believe you can, but I also think that it might be a little pre-diagnosed. I subscribed. Well, I appreciate it. I think it might be a little pre-diagnosed too, because I mean, naturally you're going to understand stuff like before you can recall it and create your own sentences. I can understand way more spoken Esperanto than I can speak simply because of context and stuff. And I can speak a very, very good, decent amount of Esperanto, but I think that I totally believe that active and passive is real. But I think that people kind of jump to conclusions on it a little bit because again, you're naturally going to recall stuff that's said to you versus being able to make it up in your mind as it goes. Because there's a, I don't know, man. Language learning is a very creative process, and it's a very creative thing because you have to, create and speaking and writing are different skills than listening and reading. It's something you learn a lot about when you learn how to. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Speaking and writing. Well, because yeah, you can stop and think about what you're writing. Because that's the other thing, man. How much subscribers do you can live stream? You can live stream with any amount. As far like I'm doing mine on my phone, and in order to do that through the YouTube app, you have to have 1,000. You have to hit at least 1,000 to do that. But yeah, as far as live streaming, you can live stream with any amount of subscribers if you do it through, like on your computer through OBS or anything. But as far as on your phone, I think it used to be, I don't know if they've changed it. YouTube changes stuff all the time, but it used to be you had to hit 1,000 before you could live stream from your phone. Okay, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Hopefully, if you want to live stream, man, you'll do it, man. Do it too. Live stream it up. OBS is the easiest on computers. You can do it with YouTube Gaming on your phone at any number. I'm currently at 400. YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, I forgot YouTube Gaming. Is that where you did your stream? Because I know on your stream for, I just need 976. It'll come, man. If you keep pushing it out, that's the thing, dude. You just got to keep going after it, man. I never thought that I'd be at 1,300. Not that that's a ton, but I can remember struggling at 5 and 10 and being like, this is never gonna happen. Is that what you recorded your Japanese ones with, Dakota? Even in Spanish, speaking and writing is very different, but on the internet, there's a whole lot of slang that's only used on the internet. That's true. That is true. Also, from where I don't have the Spanish keyboard, whenever I ask someone's age on the internet, since I don't have the, años, it's a very hilarious sentence because I ask cuantos años instead of cuantos años. Japanese Duolingo or on YouTube Gaming on my phone and tablet. Yeah, that was cool. I actually like the way... yeah, so it makes for some... As a matter of fact, I didn't know that that's what that word meant. And the person was like, hey, do you have the Spanish keyboard? And I was like, nah. And they were like, okay, cool. Just to let you know, here's what you're saying. And I was like, whoa, sorry. Um, I would love for somebody to just answer just honestly, just be like, Uno, like, one. What are you talking about? Um, yeah, I like the way those were set up. I thought it was cool. Uh, would there be an app for live streams on a tablet, or is it just need a computer? Well, I mean, you'd have to have like a capture card and stuff. You'd have to have a whole bunch of stuff. I'm probably not the best person to ask, just because like I'm doing mine through my phone. Just YouTube tutorials on it, man. There's a ton of stuff. I mean, that's where anything that I've learned, I've just YouTubed, and they can set you up for exactly what you're looking for. Yeah, Quantos Anos TNS is a very very weird situation. Yeah, YouTube is great, man. If I have any question, I just Google it. I mean, I YouTube it. Google YouTube. I guess it's technically the same thing in the reality of things. But yeah, I like the way that your Japanese lessons were set up, man. I thought those were cool. How it had the, I don't know. I like the way that it looked on there. So, and Japanese is something I am gonna Jojo Tango Uno. Yeah, yeah. That's what I said. Like, I'd love for just an awkward like, uh, you know, which obviously if I was in public, I would say Cuantos años tienes, but my biggest struggle with Spanish, though, man, God, and it's gonna kill me, is the freaking verb conjugations, man. Black bars it caused. Oh yeah, on the sides. Yeah. I don't know how you can fix that on anything like that, because YouTube doesn't. Yeah, it's super weird. Exactly. So many. Yeah, there's so many conjugations. I hate when I have to go to other people's house, type in Spanish, and they don't have a proper keyboard set up. Yeah, it can be. I'm sure it can be difficult. See, I don't even have one. See, in Esperanto, like, not. I don't mean to continuously go back to Esperanto. It's just that's literally. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much my computer screen was shaking. Sorry, dudes. I never realized how much. I mean, Esperanto is just kind of the main thing. I mean, it's the language that I know. It's the second language that I know. It's the second language that I ever stuck with to actually be able to speak a decent amount. My computer's about to die. Hold on. But I think that phone's getting ready to die too, man. But I think like Esperanto is what got me into the idea that hey, you totally can learn and stuff like that, and that's what made it awesome. And in Esperanto, there is a keyboard called Clavaro, which is actually literally keyboard in Esperanto. But if it's one of the special characters, you just type the letter and then you just type the letter X after it because there is no X in Esperanto. So that's and obviously that doesn't work in Spanish, but you should see Latin if Spanish. Yeah, I'm sure. I actually had considered trying to learn a little bit of Latin just because it would give me a base in so many things. There's not a lot of resources out there. Not completely related, but while studying in France, I had to type on a French keyboard in front of the whole class. Whoa. Zerty. Yeah, that sounds crazy. The only keyboard I really have any experience with, well, when I learned Japanese a little bit, I did have the Japanese keyboard, but that was a little easier just because of the way it was set up. But I have an infatuation with Vietnam, and I really want to learn Vietnamese. And when I was learning that a little bit before I quit, as I oftentimes do, man, their keyboard is nuts. Their keyboard is so crazy. Yeah, dude, the diacritics are nuts. Oh my gosh, they're so crazy. Man, it's crazy. Man. See, the only language offered in my school is French. Like I'm sorry, is Spanish. Like it's so foreign to me, so to speak, when people are like, "Yeah, my school teaches French," and I'm like, "What?" That's crazy because the only language that I just subscribed to everyone on this live stream. Well, that's awesome. But yeah, like it's so weird to me that your school even teaches Japanese. That's crazy. There is a school that's like 30 minutes. I don't know my directions here. It's 30 minutes east of here. It's in Tazewell, Virginia, and they teach Japanese via um, how they'll do like technically distance learning, like a teacher with through a video or whatever. Mine teaches German. Nice. Where my wife went to high school, they taught German as well. I type English and French on my phone with Azerty, but Japanese and Mandarin with QWERTY, but keyboards I can only do QWERTY. That makes sense, man. High school had Spanish, French, German. Jesus. I guess that's what happens, man. Because like I said, I live in a town with like probably right at 5,000, maybe six, maybe upwards of 6,000 people tops. And Spanish, I guess Spanish is probably a default, like because I think curriculum you're required to offer at least one foreign language, and I guess it's like, well, why not Spanish since Spanish is so predominantly spoken. And French, man, holy crap! I can't like how did you get past just the whole idea of like you start pronouncing a word and then you just stop. Like French is so confusing to me. French is dumb. Like I would love to learn it, man. I think French is so awesome, but you get used to it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you do, but like I feel like that would make conjugations tough. Or does it make it easy because you don't actually have to know them? You just kind of pronounce the word and then you go. Yeah, English is worse when it comes to English. No, I agree. English spelling is ridiculous. English spelling is really, really bad. But I just look at like French conjugation tables and I'm like, man, I don't know what in the world is going on here. Outside of the fact that, like I said, maybe you could possibly just start saying a word and just be, ugh. So the word uh, hero has three sounds in it, but it's the same vowel twice with consonants in the middle, and none of them exist in English. That I don't even understand exactly what that. So hero. I can just only imagine. I can hear a Frenchman saying that. Hero. Hero. You can look at a French word and 99% of the time predict how it's pronounced. There are rules with English. You have to guess. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll learn French. I plan on, honestly, it might be my 2019 language because in 2020, I'm going to go, for the first time since the 60s, the International Esperanto Congress is doing their meetings in Montreal. Um, and I think I'm going to try to go to that. So, depending on, you know, and I know that Montreal French or Quebec or French or whatever you want to say is a little different from France French, but I think it would still give me a base to be able to get around it because that'd be weird because I'm going up there for an Esperanto Congress, but Montreal, it's not like they are just overly abundant with English speakers either because they speak French there. So maybe that'll be my 2019. I don't know. I'm not trying to rush it. I need to get Spanish down this year. That's my main goal this year, and then we'll go from there. But that's my thought anyway. I almost can't speak to Canadians in French. Well, that's not reassuring. Oh man. Okay, maybe that won't be my plan. Maybe I'll just go up there for the Esperanto Congress and not talk to anybody except for fellow Esperantists. I can, but sometimes I'm like, what? I guess it's just a dialect thing. Like, I guess kind of like, well, I mean, man, I've talked to people like I've spoke to people from like Peru, and then I've spoke to people from Argentina, and I will say things in Spanish, like when was learning before, and it would confuse them because I guess of the actual dialect. And then I'd really, at some point in my life, love to go to one of those like polyglot conventions. So of course, right now I don't know, man. I mean, I can speak Esperanto, but I don't know if that's would classify me as bilingual just yet because I'm not like super proficient in it. I mean, I'm pretty solid, but also I don't know how people consider like Esperanto has such a bad reputation among a lot of people just because it's constructed, but you know, I don't know. This video I saw once about Spanish. It's a song about how hard it is to talk about different vocabularies and different dialects. It's hilarious. That sounds hilarious and like it would be. Words like pico that mean beak in most Spanish dialects, but in Chile it means something else. That sounds about right. I'm trying to think of one of the things. I was trying to think of a specific example of saying something and then. Well, I know that like Argentina, well, they roll every R as much as they can. They love some rolling of the R's, but or trill. But um, oh my God, what was it? I just had it, and I forgot. I can't remember it, but yeah, dialects, man, they are dialects are killer. I wish I could remember multiple different things. Oh God, man, I'm probably gonna go to sleep soon. It's almost 11:30. Got to work tomorrow. Language Learning Lounge. When are you doing your or Dakota? I don't Dakota. When are you doing your next Mandarin stream? Do you know? Because I'll try to tune in for it. I'm sure you're probably like me, where you don't really have a set schedule. It's kind of just when you have free time. Probably on Wednesday sometime. Cool. Hopefully I'll be able to catch it. That's basically how I do it. Yeah, that's the easiest way, man. It's so hard to get stuff. Uh, sort of get stuff straightened out. So, because I'm gonna do what I plan to do with the Spanish one is I plan on doing it like once or twice a week, um, and then kind of going from there. And hopefully I can, you know, keep it up. But I'm not doing every single lesson on there. Like I'm still gonna continue my lessons on my own, and then just do streams where I, you know, re-gold it or something like that. So it's more of just a periodic check-in versus like the way that you're doing it. So which is the way that you're doing it is also really awesome. But man, I love language. It's weird, man. It's weird that basic communication can become such an infatuation that I mean I've been streaming for 43 minutes, and I feel like 90% of this has just been about the love of languages, and that's super awesome to me, man. That just the idea of communication, someone can get so passionate about and just want to be able to communicate with somebody in their native tongue. Like it's so cool to me. I love it. I think that is. Yeah, I think it's great. Sadly, most Americans are very. I think Britain is like that too. I think. Well, I know that there's a couple. Like I know specifically, there's a. There's actually she does YouTube videos. Her name is Lindsay. It used to be Lindsay Dow. I think it's Lindsay Williams now. But Lindsay Does Languages is what the channel name used to be. I think it still might be, but it might be Lindsay Williams. But I think for the most part, the point is that she's British. But I think even in Britain, I think it's a very English thing, man. I think if you because English is like basically English is what Esperanto was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, because Esperanto was like, hey, here's a language, it'll be the world's language. Obviously, it didn't happen. English is kind of the world's language, and I think that's a very English mentality. Like, well, everybody's learning English, so why would I try to learn another language? Yeah, linguistics would be awesome. I actually have a linguistics book. I don't know where it's at, but I do have an English, I mean, a university linguistics book. Yeah. Yeah, if you've never have you ever seen Lindsay Does Languages, Dakota? She does a really cool channel. She does like a lot of Lindsay Does Languages. She does a lot of really cool stuff with like 9 reasons why you should learn this or why you should learn that. That's her channel, man. She does really really cool stuff. She doesn't upload like super super often, but she uploads periodically from time to time. Thanks, it's decided I'll do it. Yeah, do it. I just shared one of her videos into my culture and language of Latin American class. Yeah, I really like her work. Well, actually, it looks like she's uploaded pretty regularly. Her video, a Nahutai, was it? I don't know. I haven't seen. I'm trying to think. Gosh, man, she's actually really gotten on the ball with putting some stuff out too, man. English learning update. 9 reasons to learn. Yeah, here you go. You know a word in Nahuatl. Yeah, however you pronounce that. I am not pronouncing it correctly, I assure you. The latest video looks super nice. I'm wondering if she's like working with someone hired by. Her videos, man, her videos have always looked super, super good. The first one that I saw from her was 9 reasons to learn Spanish, and it's a super, super nice looking video. Um, she does some really cool stuff. Actually, when I was learning Spanish originally, I actually contacted her, and all right, my computer's just being, I don't know what the heck's happening. She actually taught me Spanish for a little bit, and she's super, super good, and she's very, like, when she does her classes, she speaks in Spanish. That way it, like, forces you to, you know, comprehend what's going on, so... That's the other thing. I want to get a teacher too, man. I want to get a span. And fortunately, Spanish is so common. So many people are competing. I was on Italki today looking for different teachers, and they had, man. I mean, you can get teachers for like $6 an hour, man. That's the benefit, I guess, of Spanish is it's so widely used, and so many people are wanting to learn it so they can have that. Italki is supposed to be really good. I've never had any problems with it, man. I've never had any problems at all with Italki. It's very, very good in my opinion. It's something. Well, let me rephrase that. Italki is good, depending on what you're trying to learn. And it's sometimes it's hard to get a hold of people in there. Do you know Azrin? I know Azrin because I was looking through. I do this whenever I subscribe to a new channel. I go through and look at who they're subscribed to, and I saw his channel through your subscriptions, and actually started following him. I actually sent him a message on Instagram asking him what he thought about Esperanto, because you know me. Motto of this video: I love Esperanto. But I asked him because a lot of polyglots and a lot of language learners don't like it, and again because it's constructed and stuff. And he was just like, "If you love it, that's what matters, man." He was like, "I'm neutral on it and whatever," and I was like, "That's super cool." But he's pretty cool. I just talked to my friend. into learning Esperanto today. Look, here's the thing, man. Do I think Esperanto is the greatest language in the world? No. Have I had the most fun learning Esperanto that I've had learning any language? Yes. Reason being, I have studied in my lifetime Japanese, French, Spanish, German, Vietnamese, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Polish, probably something else. You know how many of those I speak? I listed 9. I speak 0. Esperanto is the first language that I learned and actually learned. And that's the thing, man. It taught me that I can learn a language. That's why it's so important to me. And I think it can be important to people who are monolingual to get them to the idea that yes, I can speak it. Oh my god, our lists are so similar. Here's the thing. I want Asian languages and I want Slavic languages. That is what I want. And I consider even though I guess it varies on who you talk to. I know a lot of people don't consider Vietnamese an Asian language because it's so French heavy, since the French basically owned Vietnam forever. But I still consider Vietnam a Oriental language, and Slavic. I have an infatuation with Slavic languages, which is why I want to learn German, because I feel like German could be a branch or like a bridge into learning Russian, Czech, any of that stuff. Yeah, that's 100% it, man. You will fall in love with learning languages. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying too. I ended up dropping them too because there's so many things that I wanted to learn. I think Germanic and Slavic languages are sexist. Oh, sexiest. At least it's sexist. French is gross. I But yeah, well, there's a TED Talks with a dude named Tim Morley, and I'll actually, if you Tim Morley Esperanto, um, here you go. It's called Learn Esperanto First. Saluton, Nick. Uh, and so he talks about how, and I think the study is roughly, I think it was 18 months, and they had a group of kids learn Esperanto for, I don't know, it was either 6 months or 6 months or 12 months. And then they also had a test group of students who learned French for 18 months total. And the group that learned Esperanto first ended up learning more French in a shorter amount of time because Esperanto taught them how to learn a language. Saluton kiel vi fartas? Mi estis bone. Mi bezonas enlitigi, sed mi decidas paroli en filmeton. When I was studying Spanish earlier, I got to a thing. What was it? I can't remember what the word was, but it was OS, and I was like, "Oh, cool, future tense conjugation," and I was like, "No, that is present tense, whatever." Like, it's gonna take me a minute to get out of if I see like OS on the end of a word, it's not a conjugation. I gotta go work on some stuff. Glad I got to be part of this. Bonum Nocton. Bonum Nocton. Yeah, thanks for checking it out. I'm probably gonna dip here in just a second, man, because I gotta go to bed, man. I am tired. Mi estas laca. I need to rest, man. Mi bezonas reposi. Man. Does anybody else got anything? If not, man, I'm probably gonna end this stream. It's 11:30. But I appreciate everybody coming out, man. That's cool, man. That was a lot more successful, especially for me not having live streamed in a long, long time. But hopefully I can do it again very, very soon. Well, dudes, thanks for stopping by, checking out the video, checking out the live stream of sorts. I was surprised you were doing a live stream because of subscribe today. Oh, nice, nice. Nick, are you proficient in Esperanto? Ĉu vi parolas Esperanton? Well, I asked if you could speak proficiently, and then I couldn't say the word proficient in Esperanto, but you know what I mean. I'm freaking tired. Yeah, I used to do live streams more often, and then I just kind of got out of the habit of it. But definitely something I plan on doing again. I've been learning for a month now. Plan on learning it though. Cool. Well, I mean, hey, a month is I've been learning overall, off and on for over a year. But if you put together my total time, probably maybe 6 months, maybe. Do that Duolingo course, man. It rules. It's super, super good. And if you can find anybody to meet up with and talk to in person, man, that helps tremendously. Are you in? There's a group on Facebook. It's Duolingo Esperanto Learners. Are you in that group? Do you know right off? No. Hold on. Let me get you a link for that, man, because it's a group of awesome people. It's actually ran by the people who created the course. It's got like it's a Chuck Smith is in there. There's a dude named Lee in there that's really, really cool. Hold on, let me get the actual. There's tons of regular posts in here, and what's really, really helped me is I go through and I just reading the posts, man. Join that group. Very, very, very helpful. Very, very awesome people in there. And it's from people, beginners who have just started all the way up to Lee that I was telling you about. I think he's been speaking it since the 60s. So tons of help if you need it. Very, very supportive group. I highly recommend it. And it can help, keep you motivated. I just love how you can change the order of sentences in Esperanto. Yeah, it's a little confusing at first, but then you get used to it. Like if I say, all right, if I'm saying a cat catches the mouse, right? Well, in English, it's cat catches the mouse. So, kato kaptas la muson. But yeah, you can say muson captus kato, and it still means the cat catches the mouse because of the accusative. You have that n on there, and it makes it accusative, so you know it's actually receiving the verb. It's super confusing at first, and I still don't fully have it down, but that's honestly probably my biggest struggle is that stupid accusative thing, man. I say stupid because I get irritated at myself because I just miss it. I miss it a lot. Esperanton mine bone parolas. Nah. Yeah. I'm sure. That's exactly right. Yeah, because Esperanto being at the beginning of the sentence doesn't necessarily change what that sentence actually means. So, yeah, it's a cool language. Do you speak do you speak Esperanto as well? Like, oh, I mean, I know that you typed that sentence, but have you studied a lot, or have you just recently studied it, or did you maybe just casually study it over the course of a small amount of time? Just a little. Yeah, that's makes sense. I love it, man. Like I said, it just being under the understanding that it taught me that I can absolutely learn a language, man. That's the biggest takeaway for me, man. It's the most important thing that I have learned. I studied it and dropped it because I wanted to learn other languages. That was I did that a couple of times with it. I would jump between it, Spanish, it and German or whatever, and then finally I just sat down a couple of months ago, and I said I've never given this a fair shot. We're gonna do it, and I did, man. I have 5 lessons left, so I have mi havas kvin lecionoj um, restas. I have 5 lessons remaining, and then I will be finished with the tree. Kaj tiam mi uh, estos fini la arbo. So I'm happy about it. I get confused on the ig and idge stuff a little bit. Some of the stuff I know and kind of understand. Like I get the difference in rompi and rompigi, because like one is you break something, but then something like, for example, mi rompas la glason. I broke the glass, or mi mi abraco estas rompigi. My arm is broke. So like I get that, and I can get it with some of them, but it's a little tough. And I think it's just because it's I feel like if my native language wasn't English, maybe it was a little bit easier, but maybe not though either. I don't know. So. But I wish I could get my family to speak Esperanto. Yeah. That's the only problem. I'm super fortunate. I have a dude that lives. He actually makes videos in Esperanto on YouTube. His name is Kyle. Kyle Esperanto. I'm gonna link him just in case you want to watch some sweet Esperanto videos from my buddy Kyle. But he lives about 45 minutes away from me, and he speaks Esperanto, and so we meet up. We try to meet up once a month just to hang out. The first time we did it, spoke a little bit. Second time, a little bit more. The last time we met, we spoke predominantly in Esperanto, man, and it's very, very rewarding, and it's very helpful, man. Speaking, like I'm telling, even versus typing, man, I can't express how important, and I know that it's hard. That's fully understandable, but man, just speaking helps reinforce it so much. So, but is there anything else, guys? If not, I'm gonna go to bed. Like I said, I am tired and I need to rest. Mi estas laca kaj mi bezonas ripozi. All right, cool. Well, if you want to be notified next time I go live, you can hit that bell. Let me move this. Yep, right there below me, right by the subscribe button. You can hit that. Because I am going to go live again. Like I said, it's probably not going to be planned things as it was in the past if I would do like a game thing or whatever. It's probably just going to be me hanging out and chilling. Doesn't have to be about languages. It can be about anything, man, but just chatting with you guys. So definitely hit that, and next time I go live, you will notice or get notified. And I do plan on going live again this week, so just to check that out. So, but guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you guys in the next, how do I end this thing? Next video. Let me end the stream. Oh God, I don't know how to end the stream. This is a great way to end the stream. X? There it is. All right, dudes. Later.